clicks coming into their site while they're waiting for the SEO to work, or sometimes they just don't even bother because they're so far behind in SEO, they go to clicks. Now paid, the downside of paid is it's somewhat auction-based, so you're always kind of trying to outbid people to get the highest spot. But the upside of paid is you're there right away. You set up your Google Ads account, and today you're getting traffic. And you can see what that traffic does. If nobody's buying from you, then you need to do something to figure out why your content isn't delivering these conversions. Now, I'll talk about search phrases in a moment, but there are so many ways to do display advertising as well, which isn't even necessarily in the search results. But I'm sure we've all seen the ads that follow us around after we visit a website. They're a little bit annoying and creepy, but they're also really effective. It's called retargeting or remarketing. Those can be really effective, and it's a good way to sort of keep your brand on top of people's mind. You can also just target people by their interests and what they do and where they are. You can actually go by the sales process, or the end of the funnel for buying something. So there's a lot of ways to target people with display ads. Now with the search, I want to give you some help. If you're doing search advertising, I want to give you some help today about how to target those search, because one of the scary things is Google actually gives advice that you want to go broad to narrow with your search. So with paid search, you're paying for every time, it's called pay-per-click, the industry, because you're paying every time someone clicks on your ad. Now, if you go broad to narrow, that's sort of the approach that you have when you have tons of money and don't care what happens to your money. So I recommend people go the opposite way, and you want to be as specific as you can. With Google Ads, I've sat down with so many businesses and gone in there and they've set up a Google Ads account, and we go in and look at the actual search phrases that they've been paying for, and I sat with one video business where 98% of it was garbage. Somebody had told them to advertise for the phrase, or for the word video, and the default, what we call keyword match, which is what this is on the right is what's called broad match, which means Google can decide what they think is relevant to that word and have you show up for any of that, which can create a total mess. Now this video company was wasting 98% of its budget on people searching for things like Britney Spears videos, all sorts of video type stuff, and they were trying to do corporate video, so it was a total waste of money. And it's because they had video set up as a broad match. So if you're looking at your keywords, I would avoid broad matches. There's what's called a broad modifier, which forces words to be in the search. So if going back to the example before, if you do Irish vacations, you want to search any search that someone has Ireland and vacation in, you can make sure that you're at least forcing those words to be in the search. So that's very important. I would start with there, and that's as broad as you want to get. You don't ever want to use a broad search unless you have just tons of money to spend and want to weed through a lot of waste. So for small businesses, this is really important. Go back, take a look. If you're starting new, start that way. If you go back to your current campaigns, look at your search queries. I bet you'll find a lot of garbage in there. There's also what's called a negative search word, which you can add. So if you put a negative in, it means that if that word is in the search phrase, it will not trigger your ad. So common negatives are like free, jobs, things like that. You want to add those in there so you're not wasting valuable click dollars on stuff like that. So I gave you 3 tactics today to take back and use and work right away. For local, claim your GMV page and load it with as much information as you can. Putting in your description, you're actually putting in video. Google now allows you to put video on your Google My Business page. You could probably, I'm sorry, I forgot. I forget what the length of video you're allowed now. It keeps getting more and more.
Yeah, I actually uploaded, I think 3 minutes.
Yeah. So when they first came out, it was 30 seconds, and now they keep adding. They're adding more and more, and that's great to have video on your Google My Business. Show what your business looks like, or even you can do a pitch or something on the video. Add pictures, add Google posts. You can do all that stuff. For paid, go back, avoid broad keyword matches, search for negatives that are wasting your money. Find the phrases that are actually converting new customers. For organic, content should be thorough and answer questions. Think about the end user. You want to answer a question. You want to tell people why they should choose you. Don't forget that a lot of searchers, the first time they're touching your business is that page. A lot of business owners assume that they know everything about your about page and all the stuff you've said on other pages, but chances are they've never even looked at those pages. So tell them why to hire you on each of those pages. That's very important. Also, as I said before, go home, think about your offline relationships, turn them into links, because that will help boost your site strength. Over time, local, continue to ask for reviews, and ask for detailed reviews if you can. You can't control what they say, but if you ask for a detailed review, you're tending to get more of a detailed answer, and those words that they use in the review are going to be applied to what your business does in Google's mind. For paid, analyze which terms convert over time. You want to set up your Google Analytics and know what's successful so you can stop doing the stuff that isn't successful, or adjust your strategy and change the landing page for what's not successful. For organic, as I was saying before, turn your relationships into links and add specific content to your site through your blog or whatever to expand what your site is talking about, what you do. Lastly, the slide deck is available for people to grab at youcanbefound.com, Chamber NYC. Anyone that starts an SEO plan and mentions the Chamber Talk, we give them $100 off the first month of SEO services. And lastly, to have me available at any time, you can get my digital business card by texting YCBF to that number, and it'll give you a digital business card with the information. You can always reach out to me. I can give you the slide deck link again too. It's just youcanbefound.com/chamber NYC. I didn't want to take up too much time with just talking because I wanted to open it up to questions.